Welcome back. Red with you on Resonant Rise. My piggy's in love with me. I gave him carrots and gave him a treadmill. This still makes me laugh every time I see it. All right, guys, we got a lot to do today. First off, I'll apologize. I've got a bit of a cold, so if I sound a little under the weather, I do apologize for that. I'll try not to sniffle and snort too much on camera. We've been doing a lot of work with blood magic. I actually had recorded a fair amount of this that I wanted to show you, and of course, my recording was terrible. The video quality was all messed up for some reason, so yep, that's not an option. So I'm going to kind of gloss over some of the stuff we've done, and we'll deal with it. We'll move on from there. We are a tier 4, you can see it down there, or tier 4 altar right now. And that's these guys here, plus these guys, leading up to the large bloodstone brick. Well, how do you get the large bloodstone brick? Let's show you, shall we? I think we should. Where are you? Large bloodstone brick is a weak blood shard and just a piece of stone. So how do you get that weak blood shard? Well, I'm going to go show you because it's actually pretty cool. So follow me, kids. We're going out to the ritual room. The ritual room, or by the way, that's not really a room, is it? I built a ritual area. And I put it over here for a very good reason. Putting it on sand isn't flammable. That will be important. Oh, I forgot my activation crystal. Nutty Fudgekins. Do I have it in my bag? Because that would be neat if I did. I'm sure I don't. Dag nabbit. Alright, I'm gonna go grab that real quick. Bear with me. Let's blame that on the NyQuil. I don't know. We shouldn't, because yeah, that was just me forgetting. Alright, so we're gonna go grab this. Hold on. Hold please. Weak activation crystal. Bingo. We're gonna get rid of those. Pretend you didn't see that. Moving on. We're gonna take that. We're gonna need it in just 1 minute when I get over to our little area here with apparently. By the way, this was another thing I had recorded, and yep, again, didn't work. This right here, this was redstone inlay. You make it into a box, and in the middle of that box, you can summon, if you throw the proper things in there, Ars Magica 2 bosses. This one, since it's close to water, you threw in a handful of stuff and it spawned a water boss. Me and one of the guys on server, Goku, went ahead and beat up on it. It was great. I had it recorded. It was epic. And the quality wasn't there. So, sorry, we lost that one too. Hopefully I'll get something like that on camera again for you. I had also recorded building this, but I will just go ahead and explain it rather than rebuild it for you guys. There's a number of different components that go with it. You got the Master Ritual Stone here. This is basically the starter. This is what makes everything happen. And then surrounding it, we have a number of other stones. Ritual Stone, that with the blue is water, red is fire, light blue is air, and this kind of orangey whatever it is earth. Then there are blank ones as well. Now there is a tool that will auto place this stuff out for you. You need the Master Stone, and you get yourself one of these guys. These ritual jobby jobs. They're made by diamond, emerald, and 4 pieces of chalk, and this is all consumed in order to make this. The chalk itself is actually fairly simple to make. It just takes vanilla stuff. You need you put them into the blood altar. You need a block of obsidian, a block of lapis, a magma cream, and oh, now I'm drawing a blank. Totally drawing a blank. I'll have to look it up and get back to you guys on that later. I apologize. Anyway, you get all those together. You put them all up. You throw them in the blood altar. It gives you the chalk. You use the chalk. You make the ritual thing. And then by right-clicking on the Master Ritual Stone, it puts the rest of them out for you and colors them appropriately, assuming you have the chalk in your inventory. These guys, these elemental inscription tools. Have that in your inventory. Tap with our little friend here. And by the way, to flip through the rituals is just shift and right click. So now we've got ourselves a ritual set up here. Ooh, it's starting to get dark, which is perfect. Totally unintentional, but it's going to work out well. What we've made here is the ritual of binding. Now, the ritual binding has a number of different applications that we will explore through our use of blood magic. But for now, we're only interested in getting ourselves weak blood shards, because remember, that's what we need in order to make the large bloodstone brick. We need these guys. But in order to make these guys, we have to do a bit of a special ritual here. So, we take our weak activation crystal, which is made by throwing a lava crystal, these guys, which is 3 buckets of lava, the weak blood orb, 2 pieces of obsidian, piece of diamond, 2 pieces of glass. You take one of these lava crystals and you throw it in your blood altar. As with most things, throw it in your blood altar and good stuff happens, or at least the stuff you want to have happen. Now, before mobs start spawning, we're going to get this thing underway. You got your weak activation crystal, tap it, you see it light up, and here we go. Throwing a just regular old plain old diamond sword. Woo! I love this. It's so great. Boom! You see it? It popped out with a bound blade for us. Now you'll notice too, it looks kind of odd, doesn't it? It's clearly not a sword. That looks like a discus. It's a frisbee. It's my frisbee of doom. No, actually what it is that it's inactive right now. And in order to make it active, you simply shift, right click, boom. Now it's a bound blade. Now it's doing work. Shift, right click, back to a frisbee. And the reason we do that is so we can save our life points. Right now, 33,1202. It's a pretty hefty pool. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Oh, it only does it if I'm actually killing stuff. Oh, nope, I think it did. Yep, you see it took a chunk off there. The longer it'll just basically slowly bleed out of my life pool as we leave it active. There it is. So when we're not using it, we turn it off. That's all there is to it. Now we've got ourselves the bound sword, and it does pretty good damage too. Here, I'll show you real quick. Hold on. Bloop. It actually is a plus 12 attack damage. That's pretty hefty. I mean, it's not quite as powerful as a full-fledged, like my Tart battle axe that's all the way loaded up into oblivion with quartz and everything else, but it does hit pretty hard. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how this thing works real quick. We're going to duck down into what amounts to a mob spawner like crazy. The quarry age that I've created, because there's very little around, and of course it's daytime, because why wouldn't it be daytime? Because it's just trying to make my life difficult. It's all, I love that, all clear glass. Alright, so what we're going to do, I'm going to swipe this. We don't need to stick ourselves for right now. We're going to hop up, and we're going to do what we always do in these situations. We're going to go find a tree, because there are a whole lot of, there we go. Whoa, 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 lag. Whoa, buddy. It is not rendering very quickly right now. That's okay. Alright, there should be... We'll start seeing some mobs here soon. I'm sure of it. I really am sure of it. Promise. Ah, there's one. Okay. So, we turn our sword on. And we stab that thing. I mean, you see, it hits pretty good. Nothing. Well, come on, you're making me look bad. You're making me look bad, mobs. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, mobby mobs. Come on, there's got to be some of you little goobers hanging around someplace. Ooh, that tree looks really good. Let's head over there. Yes! Look at all those mobs. All right. We don't like any of this stuff. All right. So, turn it on. I'm lagging like crazy. Okay, you see, it did drop one of them. Ugh, the mana creepers. All right. You can see right here, though, it dropped one of our little blood shards, and that's because we killed it with, oh, hi there. I'll try it again. Come here. Whoa, hey! What's up, laggy-son? Yeah, okay. Well, that's going to be really... Okay, we're leaving this world because it's lagging like crazy, which is perfectly acceptable, and we're going back home. But the point is, now you guys see how you get these weak blood shards. In order to make... the stones that you saw me put together for the tier 4, you just take one of those blood shards and off you go. You're done. You throw it in the whatchamacallit, the blood altar. Let it soak. It takes 50,000 life points, 50 with a couple more zeros and then another 0. It's a lot. It's not as big of a deal for us because this mod works great. The blood magic mod becomes very simple if you've got yourself a heal spell through Ars Magica. It's very handy to have. I cannot stress that enough about how wonderful it is to be able to heal yourself up. It takes a lot of the challenge in terms of putting together a blood network. But we're going to be doing that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not using this heal just basically as a get out of jail free, though it is certainly helping in that respect. Oops, we need in here. Thank you. All right, let's clear some of this junk out. Now, why do we really care about getting tier 4 altars and getting all the rest of this jazz? What am I going for here? What's the end all be all? Because I wasn't going to make you watch me farm all this stuff. I have 38 of these weak blood shards. I've been doing a lot of work on them, okay? And it's for a very good reason. We need this. Notice it hasn't been claimed yet. We are going to go ahead and claim that for ourselves. You see how it puts our name on there now. That's important to what we're getting ready to do. We can put our activation crystal away. It's not important anymore. Now, what else do these weak blood shards do? Whoops, I don't mean to be in this. I don't mean to be in this. Get out of that. You know what? I had to update my... Yep, there it is. Ooh, we updated the server to the most recent stable release, and it resets all the settings, and it's just such a pain in the... Yeah, that thing. Now, there are a couple of things you can make with these weak blood shards. There's shapeless crafting, which we've got for our large bloodstone. Ooh, I didn't know you could do this. Master blood orb, weak blood shard, and an imbued slate gives you 5 of those. Well, look at that. Ooh, and we're going to be monkeying with this later too. These teleposition focuses. Yeah. We'll mess with that later. But this one actually is interesting. That might cut down on the farming that I got to do. Yeah. Okay. This is the one that we're really interested in. This empty socket. Okay. You take 4 blood shards, a diamond, and 4 pieces of glass. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're actually going to make a bunch of these. Bloop. 9 of them. There's a reason we're doing this. These empty sockets are now going to go get filled with blood. And no, I'm not going to make you watch that because it's going to be tedious for me to just sit here and put all these things in and make you sit here. I turned that off, right? We're not. Yes, okay. Hooray for being smart. I'm going to go ahead and just stab myself a whole bunch and make these things from start to finish. Get out of there, use. Get out of there, use. Oh, by the way, because we're a tier 4 altar and we're basically surrounded it with, well, there are 2 speed runes, but most of it is the self-sacrifice. Every stab gets you, there's my guy, 1,280 life points. Pretty decent chunk of change for stabbing yourself. So, stab yourself from start to finish, couple of heals, bloop, and you got yourself a full altar. So we're going to dump in a couple of these little guys, and we're going to do some work here. And we'll come back to it, because it takes about, 30,000 life points in order to fill one of these guys up from start to finish. So it is not a fast proposition by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, it takes a good chunk of change in order to do. Thankfully, I do have a couple of those speed runes, which does make a difference. It does move it along. And as a side effect, I'm getting some Ars Magica skill ups here, which is nice. Okay, you see it's done now? We, instead of having empty sockets, now we have a filled socket. All right, I'm going to do the rest of these, and we will be right back. All right, welcome back, guys. We're just finishing up here. Almost done with our last little guy. We're moving along pretty well. Didn't take too terribly long. And as a bonus, I picked up another Rs level, so yay for that. All right, so now we've got a whole bunch of filled sockets. What the heck are we going to do with filled sockets, you ask? Well, my friends, there is a lot that we're going to do with filled sockets. Let's just see what you can use them for. Only one recipe, the Soul Armor Forge. Let's go make it. What do you say? We're going to duck back and grab our... Now, the thing is, it takes a tier 3 orb as opposed to the tier 4. I've got tier 4, but it wants a tier 3, so we'll give it a tier 3. What this also means is that you only need it to be a tier 3 in order to ooh, hello. In order to create this. So even though I've got mine at tier 4, you don't need to wait that long if you don't want to. We're getting a little laggy lag there. All right, so the Soul Armor Forge. Come here, ya. What do you suspect the Soul Armor Forge does? We need A, B. I'm going to need a handful of these, just in case. Because what I'm going to do... What do you suspect the Soul Armor Forge does? Oh, shoot. You know what? I forgot something that was pretty darned important. We're going to go grab it real quick. We need some more of those... These guys. We need one of these for what we're going to do. We're also going to need something else. And I'm going to go ahead and put it together right now. Because, why not? We've got the time. Let's figure out where our little friend is. Let's just go ahead and do it this way, shall we? Sigil of haste. We need this. Demonic slates. That is a 4th tier slate. So this one you can't do unless you've got a 4th tier altar. It needs the Master Blood Orb. Again, 4th tier. It needs cookies and sugar. Cookies are simply cocoa beans, and that will give you a ton of those. I hope I have cocoa beans now that I think about it. Coke. Ah, son of a biscuit. Ugh. Oh, curse you, cocoa bean. All right, I'm cutting camera. I'm going to get a cocoa bean. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I told you we'd be back. Here we are. We're back. Let's pretend you never saw that bit where I didn't have a cookie. Anyway, so there you go. Sugar, Demonic Slate, Master Blood Orb, Obsidian, Cookie, Sigil of Haste. Boop. And it leaves your Master Blood Orb. It does not eat those, which is neat. Excuse me. So now we got our Sigil of Haste. We've got our Weak Blood Shard. We've got our Master Blood Orb. We also have this Soul Forge thing. What do you say we go put it all together? Let's go ahead and put the picture together. I'm going to build the my version of the Soul Forge. Because you really don't need to do anything super special with it. I'm going to put it... Alright, let's see. Okay, so this will be the middle. Let's do this. Let's do torch there. Because that's going to be the middle. So we're going to knock out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. By the way, all of this that I'm doing, totally unnecessary. You don't need to do this if you don't want to. You can just have your Soul Forge hanging out in the middle of nowhere if you choose to. I don't. I like building nice houses for my toys. So, I'm putting this together like, we can't have that. We clearly cannot have this like this. That is unacceptable. It's un-American, I tell you. Fudge. There we go. Okay. Now we got our little nook. I'm going to put that right there. That is our Soul Armor Forge. I like the lettering. Now, what can you do with a Soul Armor Forge? Well, my friends, you can make armor, which I think is pretty neat. I mean, I got Tartarite stuff. It's pretty cool. It does a good job. But we're going to go ahead and do something a little more fun with it. This I hollowed out so that it makes it a little more easy to see, but in addition, it's just because I think it looks cool. This block acts like a crafting, a 9x9 crafter. So you arrange this block in a 9x9 real-world crafting area. I'm making boots this time around. What's the recipe for boots? Well, if you were doing it in your regular old crafting table, it'd be 1, 2. I know this is only 4, just bear with me. It'd be 2 here and 2 here, just like this. Well, that's what you build in the real world. You take the build sockets and you put them around the Soul Armor Forge. And this is the boot recipe for bound armor. If you were to do legs, you'd do the top 3 and these 2 just like you would regular legs, and you'd move this actually up to the middle. The head would be the same thing. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with this in the middle. And for the chest piece, you take this all the way up to the top and fill in all the rest. We'll be doing all of them at some point, but I wanted to go ahead and get a head start here. So now we've got, well, part of what we need done. But there's a few other things we got to do first. Blood armor can be enchanted, which is neat. You do that by putting a weak blood shard in. So now it's got a weak blood shard. If you right click it, you can take it right back out again. See, it's in, it's out. I'm going to put it in. And then, whoop, recording about blood magic. Anyway, sorry for the sniffle there. Okay, so we've got our little guy in there, our weak blood shard. Now we're gonna take our master blood orb and we're gonna put it in also. Master blood orb can come right back out again if you want it to also. So now we've got 2 things in there. And our third thing, the sigil of haste. It now goes in the armor too. All right. Right click the soul armor forge. It all disappears. And I got a set of boots. Devilish protection, weak blood shard, sigil of haste, and master blood orb. Booyah. The reason you do it the way that you do it, I will explain. But this is awesome, by the way. So much faster. I feel like Mr. Piggy. Okay. The reason we did it the way that we did it. Oh, this is gonna be awesome. I love haste. Anyway, now that I'm, by the way, that's why the cookie and the sugar makes perfect sense, is because you run around like a crazed squirrel. The reason we did it the way that we did it, if you don't put and you can make that armor without any enchantments if you want to, but why would you? It's just armor at that point. This way, it's at least awesome boosted armor. You see, it's got the haste boost over there on the side. You could put any sigil, with the exception of a couple, into this bound armor. Okay, sigil. There we go. Actually, we can do it sigil of, because I think that takes, no, actually I think that did get rid of a few. It doesn't matter. You could do pretty much any of these. Water sigil gives you water breathing. Lava sigil, resistance to fire, and by resistance I mean you're pretty much impervious to it. Void sigil is a little bit more specific. It basically gets rid of void fog. That's what it does. So it's situational, but if you're mining at bedrock, it might be handy to have. Air sigil gives you, what does air sigil do? Oh, air sigil's no damage from falling. So you can throw yourself up, drop yourself down, no damage. Sigil of the fast miner, it gives you the boost and you can mine faster. Divination gives you night sight. Elemental affinity does nothing. That's one of the few that doesn't do anything for you. Sigil of Haste, well, you've already seen that in action. Sigil of Holding does nothing for you because that's just basically, Sigil of Holding just means you could put a whole bunch of sigils into one item on your bar. So it doesn't do anything if you put it in armor. Green Grove does exactly what it does if you're just holding it, which is it causes plants to grow around. Sigil of the Whirlwind, supposedly this will make it so projectiles can't hit you. And Phantom Bridge creates a Phantom Bridge. I'll show you that at some point later on. Magnetism, I don't know. I would assume it does what the sigil does, but I've never tested that one out. Anyway, so now we got our haste boots. What I was saying about the orbs, you can do it without putting the orb in there. However, if you put in any of the orbs other than the master one, it will end up costing you life points every time the ability is used. So for haste, it's pretty much a constant tick. My energy would be dropping instead of staying right where it's at. You can see right now I'm running around. There's no change, no nothing. If I didn't have the Master Blood Orb in there, it would be dropping my life points down as we go. So you put a ton of time and effort into making those Master Blood Shards, and it put time and effort into making those Master Blood Shards, and as a result, it doesn't cost you LP later on. So it's a very handy addition. I strongly suggest that you do that. It will eat the Master Blood Orb, so you have to make a whole bunch of them. I've actually made up several. And I'll be going ahead and getting the rest of this armor together. I'm not going to make you watch me farm it, though, because that's a little pedantic and slow. You get the general idea, but you will be here when we put it all together. Don't you worry about that. But that's for another episode. And we will be coming back to it here. So for now, Red's out. I'll catch up with you soon.